In my November 2017 deputation, I advised you that your secret Peel Police Street Check Board report revealed, quote, there is a retention schedule for street checks, and as in occurrences section, the retention period is no charges event plus 1 year, charges event plus 5 years, V-class event plus 50 years. Niche is not subject to the retention schedule as a module is not built into the system to manage retention of records, unquote. And then, so you all did your best to keep hidden from the public that Peel Police street check forms and their related personal information were not supposed to be retained indefinitely as Evans and Berkeley Brown claimed, but had a precise destruction schedule. No board member commented or responded in any way, no surprise there, so I filed complaints with the Ontario Civilian Police Commission, OCPC. And oh my, I had a stack of freedom of information. I had Peel Police codes of conduct, policies from the board's website, board memos, and in-camera reports going back to 2007. I also had June 12, 2015 video of Mayor Crombie's resolution directing that Peel Police consult
best practices regarding the retention of information on citizens,
unquote. I had video of Chief Evans informing the board that she'd have 98,469 street check records permanently restricted by January 2017.
So far we have restricted over 24,000 documents and we still have 74,469 street check records to restrict.
I handed the Ontario Civilian Police Commission what looked like a slam dunk complaint. Deliberate refusal by Peel Police to comply with its own street check information destruction schedule. Now, given the board's time constraints on deputations, I can only share the most important loopholes in the OCPC's March 2018 decision letters. For the record, these loopholes are also what Peel Police and board kept secret from us naive souls attending their 2015-2016 Brampton, Mississauga street check public consultations. The OCPC wrote, more importantly, the PRP Records Retention Schedule was not mandated by legislation or regulation. Therefore, its enactment, structure, application, and interpretation lies squarely with PRP and the Peel Police Services Board. It did not contain mandatory requirements, but rather guidance on PRP's operations, unquote. On March 13, 2018, the OCPC added, quote, more importantly, both the retention schedule and bylaw allow the preservation of records past their retention periods on a discretionary basis, unquote. That's right, the Peel Police refusal to comply with their own street check information shred erase schedule and bylaw is discretionary. The OCPC continued, quote, as previously stated in the Commission's response dated March 7, 2018, the application and interpretation of the Peel Regional Police Retention Schedule lies with the Peel Regional Police and the Peel Police Services Board, unquote. That's legalese, meaning that Peel Police, whose core values are trust is the foundation in all we do and transparency at all times, are free to violate any policy, procedure, directive, or code provided that it's not mandated by legislation or regulation. And that means, by extension, that this loophole applies to all Ontario police forces and boards, and I suspect all Ontario government agencies. That policies, procedures, directives, and codes that are not mandated by legislation or regulation are discretionary. As for my complaint that Peel Police and the board failed to comply with their anti-racism and ethnocultural policy, the OCPC ruled, quote, finally, you allege that Peel Police leadership and the Peel Police Services Board failed to ensure compliance with the Peel Police Services Board's anti-racism and ethnocultural equity policy and management of public records policy. Failure to ensure compliance with board policies by itself is not misconduct under the Code of Conduct or a breach of the members' Code of Conduct, unquote. So, writing police records management and anti-racism policies is mandated by legislation or regulation, but refusal to comply to those policies, thus affecting tens of thousands of people's street check personal information, of which about 30% are black, and keeping that non-compliance secret is not misconduct, but rather discretionary. So whose personal information is mandated by legislation in the Police Services Act to be expunged? Why, the police themselves, of course. In 4 sections of the Police Services Act, misconduct or unsatisfactory work performance by police officers, deputy chiefs, and chiefs, quote, shall be expunged from the record 2 years after being made, unquote. Police expunge rights are fully protected by the Police Services Act legislation. Yet the 11 or 12-year-olds street checked by Peel Police who should have had their personal information expunged as per the Peel Police Records Retention Schedule are now part of the permanent street check legacy data that Chief Evans and this board's discretionary proclivities will now keep on them forever.